Hi, everyone, and welcome to Perfect Your Pitch, Girls for Business's February monthly event. We are so excited that you all are here today and are excited to share with you about everything business pitch related and entrepreneurship related. My name is Rachel Wang, and I'm the founder and executive director of Girls for Business. And now I'll pass it over to Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm one of the co-founder and co-director of operations here at Girls for Business. And a special thank you to our wonderful panelists, Ms. Pamela Valdez and Ms. Sierra Ryan Wallach for speaking today. And now I'll pass it on to Angelica, the co-director of outreach at Girls for Business and also the host of today's event.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Angelica Fruid, and I'm a co-director of outreach at Girls for Business. Again, thank you guys for joining us today, and we're so excited to see you guys. And we hope you've been having an amazing weekend. I guess so we know who's here, and to kind of warm up for today's event, which is kind of like, we haven't done one of these in a while. It's a little workshop-based one where we do have you guys being able to interact more one-on-one with panelists in a smaller panelist breakout room. Kind of different, kind of, spicing things up a little bit for 2022. We can warm up a little bit. If everyone could type your name, grade, and where you're from in the chat, that would be really good. So I'm a junior in high school from Maryland. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And especially, shouting out to people who are getting, and taking an interest. I don't think that's the right word, taking an interest in business or, expressing your interest in business. Earlier on, I think we had a lot of freshmen and maybe even middle schoolers who were interested in being at this event. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And don't be shy to share with everyone, not just private chat me. Yeah. So today at the Perfect Your Pitch event, we hope to educate, inspire, and empower all middle and high school girls in pursuing a business career and exploring business pitching specifically. We've invited two amazing panelists who are highly experienced in business and entrepreneurship, and they'll be sharing with you their exclusive advice and experiences. And we'll be leading, as I mentioned, an interactive workshop on business pitching to encourage students like you guys in entrepreneurship and also professionality. So our two panelists, Pamela and Sierra, will be diving into business pitching and sharing their unique experiences with you all today. So moving on to the next slide, I think we have a little bit about our event structure. Yep. So first, I'll be briefly introducing our organization, Girls for Business, for anyone who's new to us and sharing our initiatives with you all. Then our wonderful panelists will be sharing their general business experiences in brief individual introduction presentations. And then we'll split you all into our breakout rooms where you can further explore entrepreneurship and business pitching skills in interactive group activities and discussions with one of our panelists and learn more about one person's unique business experiences. And finally, we'll regroup at the end in the main room for a general Q&A session with both of our panelists. So without further ado, I'll get into a little bit more about Girls for Business. So Girls for Business is a student-led nonprofit organization that's dedicated to empowering middle and high school girls interested in exploring business career pathways. We were established in June 2020 and run by a team of over 100 members. And Girls for Business has impacted thousands of girls worldwide through its platforms. By providing free mentorship programs, business news, educational virtual events, and engaging resources, our team hopes to create a platform where girls can find business guidance and establish strong connections with like-minded young women. And we run 3 educational programs. So our business mentorship program, our business resource program, and our business networking program. The mentorship program has provided free business mentorship to over 130 student mentees with our 3rd cycle ongoing. And I'm really glad that Sierra is able to join us today because she is also one of the mentors, a part of our business mentorship program. And we're super excited that we could have a great supporting member of our mentorship program here with us. Our resource program has released over 40 bi-weekly business newsletters with educational resources and business news. And our community platforms have also connected over 3,500 girls from 30 countries across the globe. So now I'm so excited to get into introducing our two panelists. As I mentioned, you'll be hearing from Ms. Pamela Valdez, entrepreneur and digital content creator studying business fashion management at the Fashion Institute of Technology, as well as Ms. Sierra Ryan Wallach, co-founder and CEO of Upcycle Design, studying entrepreneurship at the University of Delaware, and also one of our mentors. So our panelists will be introducing themselves and sharing their general business experiences a little bit more in the next few slides so you can all get to know them. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Pamela. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pamela Valdez. I am a sophomore at the Fashion Institute of Technology. It is in New York, but I'm from New Jersey, so I commute to New York for school, and I'm studying fashion business management. And when I graduate, I'm looking to get a career either in public relations for a luxury brand or work on the social media end, because I really do like social media and every day it's changing. And that's one thing that I really do like about that career. And I actually got into business when I was graduating high school. I was a senior and I kind of felt like I was lost. I knew where I was going to college. I had gotten accepted into my dream school, which is FIT. And I kind of felt lost. I was like, I don't really have anything that I feel like makes me unique or that makes me different. And so right before I started school in August 2020, I started a fashion blog in June, right when I graduated, and it's called Glamour and Guide, and it is a virtual fashion journal and guide. I do influencer interviews with people that are not just within fashion, but also who have their own businesses. And I also do make fashion content. I've been to New York Fashion Week, so I get to attend events and cover them. So it's been a really exciting journey, and now almost like 2 years later, I am still running the blog. I still do that. And then in January of last year, I launched my social media management agency, which is called Valdez Agency. And that was really just to help people who like social media, but they don't really know the back end of it and how to incorporate it into their business. And this actually stemmed from my dad, who has his own business. He wanted to take it online and take it more digital to get more people to know about it. And he was like, you can help me. And I did help him. And then I realized there's a lot of people out there who probably are going through the same thing. And so I thought my agency would be a great way to kind of bridge that gap and help other people who are going through the same thing. And ever since then, I have just been running that. I help clients run their accounts, and if they need content creation, I do graphics for them. And I also recently started TikTok. In about 2 weeks, it's going to be a year since I started. I have about like 17,000 followers on there. So it's been growing slowly but surely. And on there, I actually share more blogger and social media and business tips. So since I am still a college student and I am still looking for internships, I share on there how to utilize LinkedIn and how to make a resume that stands out, with as well some fashion content, and keeping it real with balancing a part-time job, being a full-time college student, and also having a small business. It's definitely a lot, but I like keeping it real and showing that transparency that it's definitely not easy, but it's definitely worth it in the end. And I'm really excited to see where I'll be in 2 years after I graduate.
Oops, I did not unmute myself. Thank you so much for going over your sort of business journey. This is super coincidental. I just got a text from my outreach co-director, Vivian, who just got one of your TikToks on her For You page, which is really crazy because that was like right as you were talking about it. It's about, I think I didn't really open the text because obviously I'm hosting an event, but I think it was about you at New York Fashion Week. So that's really exciting and really cool. Just to mention that, I don't know, that was really weird. That just happened. But yeah, thank you so much for getting into your introduction. And now we will be passing it on to Sierra.
All right. Hello, everyone. So obviously, my name is Sierra Ryan-Wallach. I study entrepreneurship at the University of Delaware. This is my 4th year. However, I will be a super senior next year because I'm taking kind of part-time classes while I work basically full time on my startup and my internship and my part-time job as well. So I am the founder of Autumn Leaf Fundraisers. So I started that when I was 10 years old. It is a nonprofit. And what we do is we handmade high quality items, sell them at community events, and donate 100% of the sales to charity. So we've raised over $100,000 now for nonprofits. And so that started my journey as a social entrepreneur when I was 10. I didn't know that that's what social entrepreneurship was, but I just knew I wanted to make a difference. And so I started out on that journey. And now in the last 2 years, I have founded a startup, a for-profit startup that is still a social venture. So we still have like a social mission in what we do. So I have a team of 9 people now, which is super exciting, and we're growing by the month. And so what we do at Upcycle Design is we upcycle waste materials into new products while supporting nonprofits, as well as kind of community development for our local community. And so it's really my passion project because it does everything I'm passionate about. So it does sustainability. Like I said, we divert waste materials from landfills or the environment. It also does fundraising. So we support community causes. I can actually show some of our products. We support community causes by creating cause-themed stickers from upcycled materials, and we donate $5 from each sticker to nonprofits. So we're creating a revenue stream for those nonprofits, and they help to market and sell the stickers. So here are 2 actually of our stickers. The one on my right is for Black Lives Matter. We support a local minority accelerator in our area. And then on the left here is a manatee sticker. And so we support Save the Manatee Club in Florida because the endangered manatees are dying at an alarming rate. They've lost 1/7 of their population. So these are the stickers we make. The base is fabric, and then all the thread is actually made from recycled plastic bottles. So we're preventing them from ending up in landfills in the environment. So yeah, that's our first product. We have a lot of other products coming soon, but that's been really exciting and fun. And kind of the last thing I'm passionate about with that is mentorship. So with Upcycle Design, we also mentor in 2 ways. Through the interns that we work with, we give them hands-on kind of experience as college and high schoolers, working on a startup and pursuing projects that they are passionate about while we mentor them with feedback. And then also through a program we have called Level Up. So it's kind of almost our nonprofit arm. We teach over 12 sessions about sustainability, design, and entrepreneurship. And we've had over 70 students graduate that program. And one of the graduates is now actually an intern for us, which has been super exciting. And so in addition to that, kind of tying it in with today's presentation, we've also won over $34,000 in funding through various pitch competitions with this project. So I have a lot of experience starting from when I was actually in high school doing pitching. And so I'm also a YouTuber. I started a channel about 1.5 years ago, and this is my baby. Like, I've wanted to start a channel for probably 10 years. I finally did. And so I vlog my weekly adventures as a college social entrepreneur with health issues. And so I upload 2 videos a week on Wednesday and Saturday. So feel free to go check that out. And some of my past experience, I'm a member of the leadership program at my school, and I've actually landed an internship because of that program, as well as co-founded a different nonprofit too. And then I'm also a member of the Delaware Innovation Fellows program at UD, which kind of gives resources and different networking and skill building activities. I'm also a mentor, so it's actually my part-time job. I get paid to be a mentor for Schoolyard Ventures, which actually helps high schoolers launch companies. So if any of you are interested, I can always send more information. We have school year programs and also summer programs, and I've loved mentoring for them. And I also am an intern at Spur Impact. So I launched a mentoring program under my internship, as well as I helped them with a 24-hour giving day, which is actually next week, which I'm really excited about. We raised like over $2 million last year for Delaware nonprofits. And I helped on their Mill Summit, which is actually another really cool experience. If any of you are interested, we bring in speakers from all over the world, and it's really, really cool. It's a virtual event, so you can attend from anywhere. And then my kind of mentorship experience is I'm a mentor for Girls for Business. I still literally meet with my mentee every single week. She is such a blast. And I try to help her as much as I can. I wrote her a letter of recommendation a couple of weeks ago for a program, and that's just been so incredible. And I'm also a mentor for the Diamond Challenge every year, which I'm going to talk about a lot more in my breakout room. That's a pitch competition for high schoolers that I did my senior year. And I also mentored for other programs like LaunchX, which is an entrepreneurship program. So yeah, that's kind of an overview, and I'll go into a lot more detail in my session. But yeah, so excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sierra, and also Pamela. It's super amazing to hear about all the experiences you guys have in business, and I really like that we're getting some interactions in the chat. You guys, if you have any specific questions for panelists, you can feel free to put them in the chat, and then maybe in the section where we have our Q&A section, we can have you guys go more in depth about those details. And yeah, I'm super glad that we could have you guys be here today, and also allow you guys to have more sort of personal interaction with our panelists as well, being a breakout room based event rather than, you know, one of our larger ones where we have like just questions for everyone. We can do a little breakout room, you know, closer with the speakers. So now we will be transitioning into those 25-minute breakout rooms, and we can save, I think, some of the more I guess, broad questions for later in the Q&A section, but also feel free to do your own little Q&A sections in your breakout rooms if you want to go more in depth about some of your personal experiences. So this will end around 6:40 Eastern Standard Time, and it'll allow both of our panelists to delve deeper into business management, as well as their and entrepreneurship management, as well as their personal experiences in their unique activities and presentations they've personally prepared for all of our attendees. So I think, Rachel, whenever you're set, there should be a breakout room joining option on the screen for you guys. Hopefully that comes up soon, but whenever you see that, click join, and I hope you guys have fun in your breakout rooms.
Kind of, again, to go over more details and just kind of broadly overview again. So I started a nonprofit at age 10 called Autumn Leaf Fundraisers, raised over $100,000 for charity. And then when I was 18, my senior year in high school, I did the Diamond Challenge. And so this is an international program where teams from all over the world pitch problems that their countries are facing. And it was such a cool experience. So I ended up winning 3rd place out of over 700 teams, and attending that summit literally changed my life. So I really recommend, if you have an idea and if you want to submit somewhere, check out the Diamond Challenge, because it's a really, really cool program. But that was pivotal for me. I ended up choosing the University of Delaware for entrepreneurship because they put on the Diamond Challenge. And I started studying entrepreneurship. I might not have if I hadn't done the Diamond Challenge. And so that was really pivotal for me. And then, like I said, in college, I started the social venture Upcycle Design, and we've won over $34,000 in funding, and it is my dream company. And I also just wanted to kind of a little asterisk is the total funding that I've won for all my ventures ever is close to 40,000. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on this next slide. These are resources. So this is the top 2 are pitch competitions that you all would be eligible for. I think you might have to be in high school. So if you're still in middle school, I'm sorry, but just wait a couple years and you will be eligible for them. But like I said, the Diamond Challenge for high school entrepreneurs. So the first round, you submit like a written concept, and then you do verbal pitching. And that is such a great way, even if you don't think you have an idea, it is a great way to build skills, to get feedback on your ideas, and to get yourself out there. And then the Great James Remarkable Idea Pitch Competition is for pretty much any age, although you might have to be high school on the bottom end. And that I actually did this last winter, and I won 1st place. And that is such a cool virtual competition as well. Again, both of these you can be anywhere in the world to participate. So if you want to check them out, I just wanted to mention them as resources for you to apply to. And then the accelerator programs that I mentioned before, if you are interested. our School Year Adventures. They do school programs and summer programs. LaunchX, which I kind of mentioned before, and then Dual School is another one that I've been a mentor for. And they work with students all over the world. I think specifically right now they're a little focused on sustainability, but you can still check them out. And if you want to email me, I can send you like direct links to literally any of these. I just didn't want to put long links on the screen. But I also wanted to mention most of these, all of these focus the 2 pitch competitions on non-dilutive funding. And if you don't know what that means, it basically just means that it's not a loan. You get the money and you can do whatever you want with it. However, out of the almost $40,000 that we've won, only 8,000 of that was cash. So a lot of pitch competitions, what they'll do is they usually won't give you a lot of cold hard cash. What they will do is they'll be like, here's a stipend to, like, one of our competitions was like $2,000 to as a travel stipend. If we got into other pitch competitions, we could travel. And so some of them are a little like iffy where they don't really actually give you cold hard cash. So are the programs free to attend, participate in? Yes. So none of these cost, well, I shouldn't say that. The accelerator programs, yes, you do have to, I take that back. School Year Adventures, you do have to pay money. Dual School, you don't. And LaunchX, I don't think you do either. So great question. Diamond Challenge, definitely do not have to pay to submit. It is free to submit. Like I said, from anyone in the world, all you need is like Wi-Fi access, and you do need to submit in English. But other than that, it is like free. And so is a great games competition as well. I think School Year Adventures is actually the only one on the screen that like their summer program, you actually live at one of them. You live at the University of Delaware in the dorms for 2 weeks. So it's a really cool program, but it does take a lot of resources for them. So they do charge. So great question. And please keep putting questions in the chat if you have them. So I just want to throw these resources here. And now I wanted to go into some pitching takeaways before I get into personal branding. So obviously, you really want to become good at storytelling. And this is so important because storytelling is how we connect with one another. And so if you're good at storytelling, you will be great at not only pitching an idea in a pitch competition. Most of these are for pitch competitions. However, something to keep in mind is that we are always pitching ourselves. Job interviews, right? Making new friends, dating. You go on a date, what are you doing? You're pitching yourself, right? So a lot of these can also be applicable for other kind of pitches as well. But storytelling is so incredibly important. And if you're good at that, you're going to be really good at pitching. And something else is to follow a pitching formula that makes sense. So this is the one I like. I start out with a problem slide, a solution slide, like your idea, current competitors, which can be current alternatives, right? What are people doing instead of your idea? You want to include traction. So what kind of traction does your idea have so far? What validation have you gotten in the market or in customer interviews? And again, you can ask a ton more questions. I'm just kind of skimming over all of this. You want to talk about your team. So I'm going to talk about this on the next slide, but people don't just invest in your idea, they will invest in a team. And so you want to make sure that you're really pitching, what does your team bring to the table? And then you also want to talk about future goals, right? Like, what are you doing? Where is this project going? And why should someone support you? And that kind of goes into the next one. Understand your why and let that guide you. So you really want to think of your why and try to incorporate that into your pitch, telling people, why should they care? Like, why do you care? So then why should they care? And I think that's something that's really important to remember. And you also really want to emotionally attach your audience. So swaying your audience with emotion can really make or break your pitch. And what I mean by that is people might not remember what you say exactly or all the details, but they will remember how you made them feel. I think that was Maya Angelou who said that. So you really want to make sure you incorporate emotion, share your passion and energy for solving the problem. And then you also want to pull at heartstrings. So for example, in our pitch for Autumn League fundraisers for the Diamond Challenge, we were raising money for most of the $100,000 went to an animal rescue. And so a way that you could pull that into the pitch is be like, meet this really cute kitten, Tommy, right? If we weren't here, Tommy wouldn't have a home. He would be living on the street. You don't want that to happen, right? You want Tommy to be safe and warm and loved. And so, that's just a random example. I've never met a cat named Tommy, so I don't know why I pulled Tommy out of the air, but that is something to think about, is really making sure that you are pulling at the heartstrings, that you're bringing in the people who are listening and know your audience too. So how can you make your audience become emotionally attached? What is important? Great question. So what do you think is the optimal pitch length? So that is so different for every pitch competition. I'm not going to lie. The Great Dames was literally like, I think it was, oh no, it was 2 minutes. So that was a 2-minute pitch. I've done a 90-second pitch before, and that is wild because you have to be like, here's the problem, here's a solution, this is why you should support us, right? Like that, it's wild. But some of the pitches I've done have been 10 minutes. And you really can get into a lot more detail. So usually the length of the pitch is based on what the pitch competition says. They'll usually say, it's 3 minutes for pitch and it's 5 minutes for Q&A. So you'll be able to prepare for that and prepare yourself ahead of time and know you don't want too many slides, but you don't want too few. So it depends on the length of the pitch. You want to make sure you're practicing it. So you keep it within, like, come up with a script and make sure that you are not straying and, diverting from what you say. So that's a great question. It can really vary. It's wild. So yeah, those are some pitching takeaways. Now I want to get into personal branding. And so your personal brand, what is it? Your personal brand is how people think of you. And a workshop I attended recently said that your brand is what is heard, what is seen, what is experienced. It's not what you say, what you show, or what you do, right? And so people are going to take the things that you do and then decide how they feel about them. And so you want to make sure that you're really connecting with them in the way that you want, and that you're showing yourself how you want to be portrayed so that they can take what you do and kind of make their own judgment on it. But you want them to try to make a positive judgment on it if you can control, and all you can control is yourself, right? So you want to make a really good first impression. And this is important in pitching because in my experience, and I alluded to this in the slide before, people invest about 50% in your idea and 50% or more in you and your team, because your idea can change, but the team will stay the same. And so you really want to make sure that you put your best foot forward, and having that strong personal brand that is easily recognizable is important. So for me, I try to, and people have said this before, so I think it's aligning for me. I try to show that I'm passionate about stuff, that I'm energetic, and that I'm ambitious. And so what that tells people is that I'm passionate about it, so I'm going to stick with it no matter what. I'm ambitious, so I'm going to set really big goals and I'm going to achieve them. And I'm energetic. I have the energy for this and I'm excited to pursue this. So that's something to think about. Now, before you figure out what your personal brand is, you want to think about, what is your personal brand right now? And so that's really interesting because some people are like, oh, I've never even thought of this before. And so today you're starting, but your personal brand has already started. Your personal brand is how people think of you, right? So some ways you can discover what your brand is right now is you can text people you know. So this could be friends, family, mentors, teachers, etc., and ask them to send you kind of the top 3 words that describe you. This is a great place to start. Or you can look at all your social media and see what story comes together from all of them, right? Even look up if you have a Finsta, because those are really easy to find on social media. I don't think people realize that. Like in my, we think these people, like my friends' Finstas will come around and I will see them. And you want to make sure that you have on there what you want other people to see. Like if it's funny stuff, great. If it's, not so funny, you might want to think about that. But you really want to think about cohesively what story comes together from your Twitter, from your LinkedIn, from your Instagram, from your Facebook, and does it all align and does it all make sense? Another way you can do this, which is a very unbiased way, but it's also a lot scarier, I'm not going to lie, is literally like go out in public and have strangers look at your social media and tell you the first 3 words that come to mind, right? So you could just be in a mall and be like, hey, could I take 5 minutes of your time? I'm doing a case study on personal branding. Could you look at this Instagram and tell me what are the first 3 words that come to mind? And it'll be completely unbiased because obviously people who love you and who care about you and who are your friends, family, mentors are going to say positive things. And in this way, you might get some things that you're like, oh, I didn't necessarily really like that, but you'll get something that's a lot more unbiased. And then third and finally, which I think is the most important, and I love doing this one, is you want to Google yourself and see what comes up. So for me, I'm really lucky. No one else in the entire world has the last name Ryan Wallach for some reason. And it's a great last name. I don't know why anymore. If you Google my name, Sierra Ryan Wallach, boom, it is pages of me, which is good, or it could be scary if you have stuff on there you don't want other people to see, right? Like you can't hide that. And a lot of it you can't necessarily control. So you have to be really careful about what you put out into the world. But if you have a name that a lot of people might have, that's okay. You can add like quotation marks around the name, and then you can maybe put your state too, or province, or wherever you live, right? Country, like province, state, and then city. So you can really try to narrow it down. You can try as many keywords as you want until you can find something that actually brings you up. but you really want to be aware of what search terms might come up with your name. That's really, really important, because I know a lot of people, I personally will do that before I work with someone on my team. I will Google them, and I will kind of do a social media stalk to see, I will even do that for people I'm potentially dating. Like, I'm telling you, personal branding is so incredibly important, and you want to make sure that it is cohesive and that, anything you put out there is what you want to put out there. Yes, that is a great point. Participating organizations that are well known helps boost yourself on Google. Yes, exactly. Or for example, if you write an article for some publication and have that published, or an article is written about you, your name is on the internet, right? Like that is a good way. You can actually purposely do stuff like that. Great point, to boost your image. And if you have something you don't want people to find, it goes down when you have more stuff that is more recent, right? So that's really important. And so let me see. Yes, I love it. Yeah. So, something to think about as you are now developing your personal brand. Like, you want to make sure you know where your personal brand has started out, and now you're going to develop it. These are things to think about. These are questions to think about. So take a screenshot, take a picture, write them down, whatever you need. In a second, we are going to do, with the remaining time we have left, a quick little activity on what 3 words do you want to be known for. But the other questions are for you to kind of ruminate on, right? What are your personal values? You want to start there. Do you have a clear sense of yourself? If not, maybe you want to do some soul searching, right? To figure out what your personal brand might be. When people think of you, what words come to mind? What words do you want to come to mind? That's very different, right? Something else might come to mind, someone's mind now, but what you want to come to mind is most important. And then how do you embody those words every single day, 24/7, so that those words will come to people's minds? Because by knowing your personal brand that you want to cultivate, that brand will come through when you're pitching yourself and your ideas. Because when you're pitching your ideas, you're also pitching yourself. Remember that 50-50. So that is something that is really important. And now, a personal brand is really complicated, but we're going to narrow it down to 3 words, which makes it a lot easier. And this list might seem really scary, but what we're going to do is take maybe a minute to find the top 10 words that you resonate with. And you can have different iterations of the word, right? Like preparedness, you could just say, I'm prepared. Prepared is my word, right? It doesn't have to be exactly the word on the screen, but find the top 10 words that speak to you. And I'm going to give you a minute, and then we're going to go to the next part. So, all right, let's do that, and I will give it a minute. All right, so that was about a minute. And if you don't have your top 10 words, it's okay. Make sure to take a screenshot of this. This is kind of an activity for you to do. I'm just kind of going through the motions, and I know I'm rushing it a little bit because I don't want us to run out of time. So feel free to take a screenshot. And then what you would do next is, when you have your top 10 words, you would narrow those 10 down to 5. And it sounds scary, right? Having it out of this list of like 100, but it actually, I personally find, gets easier when you start to go down. And so what would happen is you would do 5, and then you would choose 3. And then those are the 3 that you want to embody, right? You want people to think of that when they think of you. So from this list, and there are so many lists out there, so it doesn't have to be this list. It literally can be any words you want. This is just kind of a pre-prepared list that makes it a little easier. So for example, on this list for me, like resilience, that's something that I want to embody and be known for, that I bounce back, that I don't let things stop me. I kind of move through the obstacles, So this is something that is a lot easier to try to find your top 3 words. Now, I know we're running out of time, so what you would do is, again, top 10. So take a screenshot. top 10, then top 5, and then top 3. And again, it doesn't have to be these words. It could be any words. So I would love to hear some words that stood out to you. I know you probably don't have your top 3, but if you do, amazing. Put them in a chat. I would love to hear what your words are. And if not, put all 10 or just put whatever the list was that you got to, feel free to write those in the chat. I would love to hear what your words are, because this is something that, again, can go back to once you know who you are and what you want your personal brand to be, it is so much easier to incorporate that into your bigger pitch. So I hope that that was semi-helpful today. We got some words. Oh, yes. Resilient. Yes, that's my word too. I love it. Flexible, daring, beautiful. I love that so much. And something to think about too is sometimes words can be similar, like resilient and flexible. Some people might be like, oh, those two are kind of similar, so I might combine them into an even better word that incorporates both, or I could keep both, or I could keep just one, right? Like there's so many ways you can do it, which I think is so much fun. And then dedication, humility, and passion. I love it. Passion's another one of my words too. Oh, uniqueness, resilient, yes, and passion. Oh, that is coming more to, I love that. It's a bit of me. I love it. Calmness, accountability, trustworthiness. Yes, calmness. I need more of that in my life. So I love it. I love it so much. So again, here is just all my information. Feel free to connect. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. And I'm excited. If you have questions, I guess bring them back to like the main session, and we're going to do a Q&A. So excited. That's kind of the most fun part for me, is interacting with everyone. It's not just me speaking at a screen, which I'm sure is not the most fun. So yes, right on time. I'm so proud of myself. All right, breakout rooms will close in 60 seconds. So we can all head back. Thank you so much for listening. And please connect. Again, if there's anything, any resources or anything that you were like, oh, I missed what you said, or I can't find it on the internet, please email me. I would love to help out in any way. And so, yeah, let's connect. All right, let's go back to the main room, and I'll see you all there. Bye.
Okay, looks like we're a little early, so we'll wait about 20 seconds for Angelica and Pamela's to come back.
All right, I was a little bit cut off, but it's all right. As I was saying, that was extremely informative from Pamela, and I'm sure Sierra's was also amazing. I think everything is set to go. I hope the breakout room didn't cause anyone to get lost in that. But yeah, everyone, welcome back, and I hope your breakout sessions were all great. As everyone's back, before we start the Q&A section, we did want to take a quick pause to take a Zoom group picture. So if you guys could turn on your cameras, that would be really great. And we will take 2 pictures. Whenever you're ready, Rachel, let me know. We'll take one where we're just smiling. And then we also wanted to do one that was kind of fun. So we wanted to do one with like a little heart where you do like this or like that, you know, one of the little hand hearts. But yeah, I think first we'll do a sort of normal one. And yeah, if you guys could turn on your cameras, that would be really great. Just so we could get our, okay, no problem. If you do want to be tagged in our recap post that comes out with the Zoom group picture, you can also leave your Instagram handle or LinkedIn even, because we do post there too. But yeah, if you're not comfortable, that's fine. But if everyone who wants to be in the picture is here, Rachel, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and take the picture.
Okay, I'm ready when you are. Angelica, do you want to give a countdown?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, I'll count down from 3, one time for the normal one, and then you can do the heart one after. So 3, 2, 1.
Okay, got it. Let me copy and paste that.
Okay,
and then
yeah, sorry. And then for the heart one, if you could just do like a little heart hand, that would be really great. Rachel, I think since you're taking the picture, you might be a little excluded from this one. But we can make sure. Okay, yeah, that would be good. Okay, and 3, 2, 1.
Got it. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Great. Thank you guys so much. So now I think if we already have exited the screen share. It's perfect. We will be transitioning right into our Q&A section. And as I mentioned, the picture will be posted in an event recap on Instagram and LinkedIn, as well as an accompanying an article that we'll be releasing about the event. So stay tuned on all of our social media info at the end during our event to be able to tune into that. So transitioning into the Q&A section. Also, to maintain interactivity, if you could turn on your camera, that would be really appreciated. But obviously, if you're not comfortable, that's also okay. So we will be starting off with a few of the a couple of the most, or a few of the most interested or frequently asked questions and points of interest from you guys in the RSVP form. And then we'll be able to open it up to anyone live in the chat, or if you want to just speak out later on after we ask some pre-asked questions. So feel free to think of some questions you want to ask later and have them ready to type into the chat now. And also to our panelists, if any question speaks to you particularly, both of you feel free to chime in anytime. So pulling from our RSVP questions, one of the most, I would say, I guess just what's the word? One of the most common questions that we got was just, what's the most important part of a business? As you both are entrepreneurs, what would be what you would highlight as most important to know when starting a business? Either of you feel free to start it off.
I could go. I feel like the why and the purpose of why you are doing it is the most important, because there's so many people, we even see it with celebrities, like a lot of them start businesses kind of just for a quick cash grab, and that can be an issue because you have to see the long-term success of a business. So if you're just doing it for in the moment, you just want to see where it will be, then definitely it's not gonna have long-term success. But the why of why are you doing this is, I think, the most important.
Yes, I would totally agree. And I will just add on to that, because I think that was a great answer. Make sure that when you start a business, you are solving a problem, right? And when you are solving a problem, you want to make sure you're falling in love with the problem, not the solution, because your idea is going to change so much from when it originally starts. And so many people are like, I have an idea, I'm going to start it, and it will be exactly how I envisioned. And that cannot happen, because when you start on the journey, you don't know what things are going to come up, right? You're going to start walking down a path and something's going to come up on the path and you're going to have to pivot. That's what entrepreneurship is all about, is being flexible and resilient and pivoting when something isn't working out, because that just means that path didn't work out. Just make a shortcut and go on another one, right? So it's so important to fall in love with the problem, not the solution, because the idea is going to change 100%. It will never stay exactly the same as when you first came up with it, but the problem will always be the same. So yeah.
Great. Thank you both so much for those answers. I definitely agree. And I know Rachel would probably be able to relate with her entire journey to founding Girls for Business itself. So yeah, thank you guys so much. The next question I wanted to ask, I know Pamela covered a little bit about in her breakout room. So it's about how to gain more confidence in yourself and what your best tips are to, I guess, sort of prepare yourself to enter unfamiliar sort of spaces and go about starting a business and be able to be confident. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I can kick us off for this one. I think definitely, like I mentioned, being flexible and resilient and being open to pivot, because when you go into new spaces and you're learning new things, unless you have, 50 years of experience in solving exactly the same problem in exactly the same industry, every new venture that you're going to do is going to throw new things at you. Like, we're all, learning new things as we go. And so it's just really important to embrace the pivot. I would say embrace that jumping back. You're going to get, entrepreneurship is really hard and you're going to get beaten down. But if you choose something you're passionate about and you really are dedicated to that, continuing to bounce back is something that is so important. So in a roundabout way, I guess that answers the question, but yeah.
For me, I look at confidence more of in the long run. I think where can I be in a year from now? Where can I be 6 months from now if I just put myself out there, and if I really get a little bit out of my comfort zone, because without at least getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, you don't really know your full potential and where you could be. So I really think like, if I just do this right now, where can I be in 6 months? Where can I be even a year from now?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Let me bounce off that again, because I was like, yes, that is amazing. It's also when you hit challenges, that's when you also realize your full potential too. Because if you don't hit those roadblocks and stuff doesn't come up, you are not working at your full capability, at your full capacity. And so something I'm really trying to learn, so I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm trying to learn this right now, is embracing the obstacles and seeing them as a gift and saying, this is a test. It's testing what I've learned. It's testing the knowledge and the skills and everything that I've gotten up to this point. And so really trying to embrace what's happening in that way, sometimes the negative, that's incredibly hard. Like, I'm not sure I'll ever get to a point where that's going to be easy, right? Like, that is so difficult. But yes, I just had to bounce off that because that was a great answer.
Yeah, thank you both so much for those answers and sharing those ideas. I think like sort of also tying into what you mentioned about obstacles that are commonly faced, another one of our common questions was about gaining more engagement and ability to expand a business. I think that's something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, especially, our own business, Girls for Business. We do also struggle with having engagement. And I know a lot of our attendees wanted to know, what are some of your tips for, getting yourself out there more and sort of being able to have a bigger impact on a wider audience?
I think for me, the way that I've been able to expand like my business and definitely get more engagement, I feel like this might be a little bit obvious, but I feel like social media itself has like really helped. I love talking to other people online about my experiences, and especially like being a business owner. So I like using social media I will talk about it on one platform, and then I will encourage my audience to go to a different one, and then that kind of just expands them, and then they see you on a separate platform, and that allows them to decide, are they going to stay on here, or are they going to stay on one? I definitely just like bouncing back between different platforms.
I wrote that down, so I was like, that's such a good point. I love that. Yeah, I would kind of add on to that and say also, if you are kind of doing content creation and getting your story out there, because it is really important to get your story out there in whatever way you want to do that, right? Social media is a huge storytelling platform. You don't have to, but it is a great one, and you can gain followers really quickly and use that to share your products and ideas and businesses. You can also do it in, pitch competitions, right? Like, there's so many ways to get your story out there, to gain momentum, to gain traction. Another thing I would also recommend is being yourself. So like, I know that sounds so cliche, but if you put your authentic energy and your authentic vision and ideas out there, people will be drawn to that because of that authenticity and because of who you are. And kind of my last thought is also to diversify what you're focused on. So for me, I love change. So I'm constantly like, I want to go do this and I want to do that. And like, that's why I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a 9-to-5, right? Like, I don't want to do the same thing all the time. And so if you diversify, so for example, like I have, my Instagram that I haven't really been focused on too much. I've kind of been focused more on my YouTube channel, right? And then if you have like a TikTok too, and a lot of those, you can also recycle content and do it across all platforms, because a lot of people aren't on all the platforms. But I think it is really important to not just focus on one platform, like not just focus on Facebook or not just focus on different stuff, because you are going to have different audiences on different platforms. And I think it's important to, for example, if something like TikTok were banned, suddenly you've lost, a huge network. So kind of like what was said, like you want to make sure that you're saying like, hey, go follow me on this other platform too, so that we can stay in contact across like everything and never lose contact. Very important. So
Yeah, thank you both so much again. I have also a private question that came in a little while ago from Yvonne, who unfortunately did have to leave, she said, for dinner. And I think someone else is just coming back, Rachel, if you're able to admit them. But yeah, another private question also to all of our attendees. If you have any live questions, now would be a perfect time to ask. If you want to put them in the chat, if you're not comfortable with sharing, you can also just direct message me like Yvonne did. She wanted to know, I think this was specifically for, or oh wait, I don't know actually. I think it was just sort of in general. How do you guys constantly think of newer, more like innovative ideas for your businesses? And I think she was directing this at Pamela as a content creator. How are you thinking of new ideas which are engaging your audiences?
I try not to like always do trends because they can easily like they're popular now and then 3 days from now no one's even talking about it anymore. But I get a lot of ideas off of problems that I used to have, and then I think, what issues did I have when I was first starting out that other people probably have as well, and how can I inform them? So if someone asks me, so when I was starting my blog and my agency, I was confused on where can I even do research on this? So that gives me a content idea. Now I can make a video on what platforms did I use to research when I was starting with this. So I just think of problems that I had and then make content based on that, because that is probably a problem that someone else is having and they may not have someone to reach out to ask, how can they solve this?
Yeah, I'll just also add on. I know that wasn't really my question, but on like ideas in general, I'm just gonna kind of approach ideas in general. So entrepreneurs are problem solvers, right? Like we see problems in the world and then we want to solve them. So if you don't have that like skill, and I won't even say it like that because it's something that's cultivated, right? Like if you're like, I just don't see the world in that way of looking at problems to then solve them and come up with ideas, start doing a problem journal, right? Like anything you encounter or problems you see in the world, write it down and then be like, okay, my thought exercises, I'm going to take 10 minutes and come up with all these solutions, all the ideas. I'm going to divergent think and just brain dump all the ideas I can. So if that's something you're not interested in, that's okay too. Have someone on your team that is the ideas person, right? And then you are the person who decides, okay, which idea is viable and what are we actually going to pursue? So if you're someone who doesn't enjoy content creation, I do a lot of different content creation. I'm like a vlogger on YouTube, and I don't vlog I don't do things to vlog. I vlog whatever I'm doing because I use it as like a video scrapbook. And so I'm a different content creator because I don't have to come up with ideas. I just turn on the camera and record and like word vomit and people seem to like it. So that's been kind of my journey with it, I guess. But yeah, again, if that's not something that you want to do, if you're not into content creation, have someone join your team who would be my suggestion.
Yeah, thank you both so much. And thank you, Sierra, for all those ideas, even like unrelated to content creation. That was really helpful. We do have like 4 minutes left, and I do want to get to all of your questions, but I feel like we only have time for one more. If Sierra and Pamela, if you guys want to address some more direct questions through the chat, that would also be great. But one more question I wanted to ask you guys. I think I'll pull Sophie since it was also asked in the RSVP forums. What would you say is a good way to find internships? I guess just as a high schooler or just like anyone in general, to gain business experience.
Go ahead. You can go.
I talked about in my presentation that I did a ton of remote internships throughout high school, and the one platform that I used was Indeed, because I really feel like that's great for any beginner. I was able to get so many remote internships even when I had no experience. My very first one was content writing, and I did the interview and I got that one, and that was what really helped me build up all my other ones. So I think Indeed is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. So there are a lot of, for example, startups like moi who are looking for high schoolers that want to gain, business experience. So for example, ours is mentorship based. We're a startup, so none of us are getting paid right now. In the future, we want to hire our interns to work with us, but we are experience based, which means that you're building your resume and we're also mentoring you through it. So we're trying to put you on passion projects that you can learn things that would be applicable. So for example, to future opportunities, for example, one of our interns was a blog writer and he wrote our blog, and now he has a job writing a blog about comics for a company. It's like his dream job. And he was able to say like, hey, here's my portfolio of blogs that I've written for the past year. And he got a job because of it. So I think it's really important to say like, okay, you know, if you need a paid internship, that's totally fine too, looking specifically for that. But if it's also experience-based, a lot of startups can also pay if they're like tech startups or they have a lot of, you know, funding coming in. But for us, you know, we're trying to share value for you as you share value for us. So that's something that I would recommend for startups.
Great, thank you both so much again. And we do have about 2 minutes left. I think I will be running a little bit over just with our wrap up, but Rachel, if you're able to screen share again, I do want to give both of our panelists contact information if you guys would like to reach out later with any questions that we couldn't get to today. You can reach out via email, and I also include in your LinkedIn's. So feel free to take a picture of this slide. Okay. And then wrapping up with a final Girls for Business plug. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials to stay updated with Girls for Business content. We have a lot of cool content planned for all of our social media accounts. So be sure to follow us there if you haven't already. And for more content on business news and helpful business tips, you can also check out our Instagram, LinkedIn, our website at girlsforbusiness.org. And like I mentioned, there will be event recaps going up. So if you want to be tagged in the Instagram post and you haven't given us our handle, you can put your handle in the chat right now if you would like. And feel free to take a picture of this slide as well. All right, and then I think, Rachel, if you are able to send a feedback form for this event, that would be great. So we would love to hear your guys' input on our events and also ideas you might have for upcoming events. Yeah, so feel free to fill that out if you would like. And then finally, if you want to get involved with the Girls for Business community more, here are some of the ways that you can. Sorry, my voice is kind of going away. I don't know why that's happening right now. But to access all of these links, you can also take a picture of the slide to scan the QR code. And yeah, I'm not going to go super in depth with all of these because we don't have much time, but you can start a Girls for Business chapter if you're interested in leading a high school or state chapter. Even for international applicants, you can create regional or country chapters and county, sorry. And chapter activities range from business workshops, career fairs, statewide competitive events, and more engaging projects. And applications are rolling year round. Also, you can become a mentee. So Sarah knows a lot about being a mentor, but mentees receive one-on-one mentorship from an experienced business college student or business professional over the course of 10 weeks with mentors like Sierra. And mentee applications for the Girls for Business mentorship program are open year round. So application link is also on the screen for that. And you can subscribe to our mailing list or join our team if you want to be a part of Girls for Business. We are accepting applications for select team roles and would love to work with you. And one of the teams is the outreach team. I would say it's the best Girls for Business team. You get to work with me directly and play a part in planning our events every single month. And lastly, you can join our community Slack. You'll be able to network with girls with similar interests and also receive personal and professional guidance from accomplished businesswomen and build connections with girls from all around the world. So the invitation link for that is also on the screen. Okay, that was a lot of talking. And then I think that brings us to the end of Perfect Your Pitch. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and both of our panelists for joining us and sharing your business experiences and pitching tips with us all. We were really glad we could do this event, even though we had a smaller audience. It was sort of really nice to have, this tighter group, and we learned so much from both of you. So thank you so much, Pamela and Sierra, for taking the time out of your day today to speak today. And yeah, additionally, a huge thank you to all of our participants again. If you have any additional questions or suggestions for Girls for Business, you can stay behind for a few minutes. Rachel and I would love to chat with you. But for everyone else, I hope you had an amazing time, and we hope to see you again at future Girls for Business events. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay,